One quote that I heard that really resonated with me was that social media can be a useful slave or a dangerous slave master. Hello beautiful people, thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel. I am Darla and you are tuned into the 30 Journey. Here we're on a faith and fulfilled journey through our 30s, and I'm so happy you decided to join me on this video today. So beautiful people, 90 days away from social media. It was really more so of Instagram because I was still posting on Facebook every Thursday. If you are not following the Facebook page, the link is below if you would like to. But the 90-day break was definitely something that I needed, something that I wanted, and something that I'm so happy that I decided to. I know most of you know the old saying that it takes 21 days to break or start a habit, but if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I stress 66 days. I did a video on why 66 days is so important, and it is one of my biggest tips to you guys. So if you want to watch that video, I do have it linked in the cards and linked below as well. But this was 90 days, and why did I choose 90 days? So I was like, I don't know if I should choose 30 days, 66 days, or 90 days. But what I did was any, mini, money, mo. That was the way that I chose the amount of days that I wanted to take away from social media. I didn't want to do this video before I got back on social media because I really wanted to see if I was going to fall back into those habits, if everything was going to be the same as it was before, and all of those things like that. So I really wanted to wait, get back on social media, be on there for a couple of days, and then do the video to see if anything had changed. So if you guys are interested to find out a few things of how I feel, what happened within this 90 days, if anything has changed, what went on during this time, please keep on watching. So social media is not all bad. Social media is a great tool, especially when it is used properly. Something that I always stress to people is to be aware of its influence and its programming. Honestly, when you think about media, you have to think about influence and programming. Television has been the same way for years, and now that has transitioned to more so of online, the internet, and social media. The one thing that I know that social media was definitely geared to be was a tool for people to engage with each other, a tool for people to network, and also a tool to share information as well. There are people that know how to do mind strengthening activities and mind strengthening things to be aware and mindful of stuff like this, i.e. meditation, prayer, disconnecting. Those things are great in my opinion, because when it comes to staying in a great mindset and being in a great mental space, that is very important when it comes to engaging in things like social media every day. Before, people were comparing themselves to people they saw at school, people they saw at work, when you're out and about at a few different places. But now there are a lot of people that are comparing themselves to people that they see online, and hundreds upon thousands of people that you see online every day. That can definitely play a big part on someone who is not really mentally stable to be able to handle stuff like that, especially if they're already living in a space or a place of insecurity. What I'm saying is the range was not as big as it is now when it comes to social media. And that over time has allowed our minds and our eyes to become desensitized to what is reality versus what is make-believe. And honestly, a lot of what is on Instagram is make-believe. Hear me out. So we know that when it comes to taking photos, which nothing is wrong with, we pose a certain way, we use our best angles, we make sure the lighting is perfect. We do all of these different things to make ourselves look better and also make it look as effortless as possible. But that is not reality. And I know people have their issues about filters and different things like that. But in my opinion, here's how I feel about it. When it comes to using filters, like that was the main thing that allowed Instagram to stand apart from Facebook and MySpace and different things like that, because you can pop a filter on your photo, make the photo look vintage. It can make, you know, something just pop a little bit more, whatever the case may be. But the thing is, you have to know that's not how you really look. That's not how someone else really looks. And a lot of times, y'all, it's really just understanding that But it started to go haywire when they started coming out with apps like Facetune and all of these different things that help you distort your body, your face, your whatever, and it just went completely left. But it's a slippery slope, so you have to be very, very mindful when you do, or if you do decide to do things like this, because you have to know who you are at the end of the day. When you're staring in the mirror, when you're staring at your camera, when the filters are gone and all of these different things, know who you are truly at the end of the day. And that goes with anything you use to enhance whatever. Here's the thing that people should also be very mindful about as well. I personally love to look at old photos of myself from social media. Even though I deleted a lot of stuff a few years ago, I still love to see old photos of myself. And I love to see how I've grown, if things have gotten better, if things have gotten worse, whatever the case may be. But if you're putting the best photo of yourself up every time, you're not really able to truly track that. Because at the end of the day, the real you is the 20 pictures that you didn't allow to go on your social media before you picked the best one. And let's just be real, we all do it, but it is okay. But once again, know who you really are. So now that I gave the spiel on that, let's get into these past 90 days. So apparently it was a hot girl summer for everybody, but for me it was definitely lukewarm. It was definitely a lukewarm summer, y'all. But it was a great summer. One thing that I noticed in the very beginning of getting off of social media was the fact that my anxiety went down a lot. Honestly, I think that's something that I would need to talk to my therapist about to really figure out why that is. I think I have a reason to why that is, but it definitely has more to do with the business side as opposed to me personally. But that was one of the first things that I noticed taking the break. I was like, where did the anxiety really go? Because it wasn't very prominent. Honestly, when it came to tracking moments and really documenting moments, I sucked. I rarely took pictures of anything. I rarely pulled out my phone. I really am really good about that now. Like, I am definitely a live in the moment type of person. Very rarely will you see me pull out my phone to take a picture of my food anymore, to take a picture of whatever it is that I may be doing. It happens every once in a while because I remind myself that, you know what, I do want to have this moment captured for myself. But a lot of times I don't. I really love just living in the moment. It was really a good summer for me. But one thing I realized, y'all, and I really wanted to travel more, but did not happen. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. So if you have been paying attention, like last year when I was doing my solo trips, I took a trip in March, I took a trip in April, I took a trip in September, and I took a trip in December. Every time I traveled to wherever I went, the weather was perfect. Like, it was perfect. I don't like to travel when it's hot. That is another reason why I definitely will be traveling more within the next 4 months. So another thing I realized about social media is that you don't know what you missed if you don't know about it. I think a lot of times when it comes to social media, we have this fear of missing out. That FOMO gets real when you feel like you don't know about something that everyone else is in on. I know how frustrating that is, but at the same time, y'all, you have to understand, like, there are things that are going on in the world that you don't know about, and you are still here living and you're good. You do not need to know everything that's going on. Like, that's quite all right if you rid yourself of that fear, because it's really an irrational fear. Another thing that I realized while being away is I had to ask myself a hard question. It was, why am I on it? So one thing for me when it comes to being on social media, especially now, I'm more focused on my branding as opposed to my personal page. Like, my personal page really doesn't get that much love anymore. But I'm about to start traveling more, so of course that will definitely allow me to really start putting things out there on that page. But I'm really more so focused on building my brand and actually putting it out there, what I'm trying to represent and what I'm trying to bring to it. And that is the real reason to why I decided to stay on it. I do love engaging with people in that aspect, but know that I am an introvert, so that can only go so far sometimes. But it is a great way, honestly, for me to network, to engage, to be connected to people. But that is also a slippery slope, I realized. I ever see people that are so engaged and so cool or whatever online, and then you meet them in person and it's like, I'm sorry if I expect you to be who you portray yourself to be online, because I think that person is great. The person in front of me, not so much. I think that we all deal with that in a way, which is, like I said, why it's important for you to question yourself of why you're on it. Be real with yourself about why you're on it, and also be real with yourself about the time that you're spending on it. That's the main reason for me as far as giving it up, because I saw that I was spending way too much time on it. And even though it was a great way to interact and it was a great way to talk to people and different things like that, I found myself getting into that place where it was constant scrolling, and then next thing I know, 30 minutes have passed by, and then an hour has passed by, and I'm just sitting here watching baby videos and videos of I don't know what. And I really realized that a lot of times it's because the internet never ends, y'all. Like, there's no end to the internet. Like, it can go on and on and on depending on what you decide to engage in. To me, that's a key indicator of knowing when to cut it off and walk away and break away. Social media is definitely a tool more than anything, first and foremost. And I think the sooner we understand that, the better off we'll be. One quote that I heard that really resonated with me was that social media can be a useful slave or a dangerous slave master, and that is so powerful. So understand that you are to use it. It is not to use you. I honestly believe it's one of the main reasons why anxiety has skyrocketed, depression has skyrocketed. But once again, I'm not going to say that everything about it is negative. However, in my opinion, there are definitely more negatives than positives. So my thing is, the 90 days was definitely very helpful for me to realize a lot of things, and it also definitely allowed me to really just enjoy life more and just put more energy into doing the things that I love without having to document everything, and really just live in the moment. That was the best thing about being away, is really living in the moment. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you are interested and you think that you can make it for 90 days, I would definitely recommend you do it. If not, maybe 66 days, maybe 21, maybe 30. Just start somewhere. Just don't be afraid to break away because of what you think you may be missing, because I promise you, you'll be just fine if you don't know everything that's going on. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. I'm back, like I said, on Instagram, so you can definitely follow me on Instagram. All that information is below. As always, remember to keep God first and to stay winning spiritually.